Welcome back, folks. You're listening to the Stockwell Eldridge Show every Sunday, 10 a.m. here on AM 1280 The Patriot. We have a great guest, Tom Soderberg, and our fill-in co-host is
Stephanie Havel, Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
Who's here every week. So actually, she's here every week. She's not fill-in,
but I get
Dawn's
to sit
out.
in the lovely Dawn Eldridge chair, so
yes,
I feel
so we're
special.
excited. And on break, we're having some fun stories again, talking about some cool stuff down in Florida, and then we'll get into some predictions here. And right about now is the time where Florida doesn't sound bad at all. When you're in the middle of January, I'm a pretty optimistic person, and I fight through the winters, and I like doing activities as well outside. Like, I'm taking up snowboarding with my son, who's 6.
Awesome.
Skiing, I like to ski, and then I'm getting out. I went to play it again and bought hockey stuff. I've never played hockey in my life, but my son's in hockey, and he wants to skate, so I'm like, okay, I'll give this a shot. So I'm buying the full helmet, elbow gear, breezer, so I don't break my tailbone, so I don't want to break my neck or my elbows, anything. I don't want to break anything. So I'm full get up, and all these kids are running around looking at me like with the crazy guy all
yeah, I know
like
what Jason is. You get older, yeah. Well, as you get older, though, you do. And, here's me. I've actually just migrated. I don't mind outdoor sports, but I'll meet you in the chalet. My friends, I'll go and ski and snowboarding. Great. I'll meet you at the Mark Chalet. I'll save you a stool when you're done. I'll have the Baileys and the hot cocoa ready to go.
Yeah, but the point of that is even through all that, Florida still sounds awesome to go to. Or
82 degrees every day.
Yeah.
Day after day after day.
Take a 10-day or even, it's a quick flight, right? So you can get down there and you can be there.
3.5-hour flight.
Yeah, you get down there, stay 4 or 5 days, 6 days, 10 days, whatever it is. Get that refresher, that vitamin D, that humid air, that life back, right? Mm-hmm. And then you come back, you feel great, right? You just came back, right, Tom?
Just came back.
Yeah, and you're supporting the U.S. economy, so good.
Yeah.
Versus Mexico or...
I always think when I come back, I think, God, who in the world would have moved to Minnesota when it was this time of year? And I think somebody moved here, say like in May or June or something. They say, this is beautiful. Mm-hmm. Built a house, went through all the work, and then all of a sudden winter came and I thought, damn, I got all this work in this house. I got to stay.
Right. It is a beautiful... I do. I used to say, though, I kind of enjoy the seasons. I mean, I probably don't notice the cold as much.
They'll burn by quick. By mid-March into March, we'll be out of it'll be good. But I have a client who... We actually put her house temporarily not available per her request for the whole month of January. It's still temporarily not available. Not because we think the market's slow in January. She doesn't want, anything like that. Nothing to do with the market. It's because her favorite month in Minnesota is January. She absolutely loves January. The snow, the cold, just loves it. So she wants to have no distractions and enjoy her house and her area that she's in and activities that she does in January without any distractions or anything like that.
Well, there you go. I mean, it is. It's embracing the elements and where we live.
So there are people that love that. And there was a thing on Facebook I saw the other day that said something about Duluth. And it said, it's so beautiful in the winter, it almost makes it tolerable. Like it's so amazingly beautiful when with the trees or the icicles, the snow, that kind of stuff. And with Lake Superior and all that, and all the ships and all, just everything. And then we were up there for Spirit Mountain. It was great. But anyway, we're rambling too much. We want to get back into business. Here's the business, folks. 2017, if you're thinking of selling, if you were smart enough to not sell and wait, or you're procrastinated enough to not sell.
Or you finally got the kids out of the house.
Or you finally had something happen. Guess what? Your timing is impeccable because 2017, especially the first half, lights out for you if you're a seller. You're going to be at a high of all probably the last pre-recession, or maybe more. We might have surpassed in many parts of the Twin Cities. We've surpassed pre-recession values. So take advantage of that if you are thinking of selling this year and your timing is your procrastination, whatever it was, paid off or will pay off. Don't wait until it gets to a point where maybe you aren't getting that return that you wanted or waited for or needed for your next move. That's one thing we're seeing a lot of is single level living. People want that. They want new construction. However, you got to realize that you're going from an older home to a new home. It's not a lateral move always. There's usually an upcharge for the new construction just simply because of cost of supplies, materials, labor, mainly labor here in the Twin Cities. Tom, how's labor down in Florida compared to the Twin Cities, cost-wise?
Well, the labor is a lot less in Florida.
Yeah.
My father would always refer to it as the sunshine discount. So if a person were to be working in Florida, they weren't making quite as much. For the people that were living there, retired people, it's a kind of a good deal because they have less expensive landscapers, less expensive pool cleaners, less expensive painters, all that common labor. But the labor up in Minnesota is substantially more expensive. In the project that we were just working on, the apartment complex, there were actually a few people that had moved up here from Florida to get a better wage. So that's going to have an effect on every part of all, the construction.
Yep.
When the labor goes up, that's going to be one of the biggest costs in all the construction, and that has a tremendous effect on the final nugget.
Yeah, and that's why the lateral move where you sell your home for $300,000 or $280,000 that you've been in for 40 years. And you want to buy that new construction at that price, it's tough, especially if you want a big enough space. If you go to a condo or a smaller space, possibly, yes, you could do that. But from a standpoint of a lot of other new construction, it's going to be higher than that a lot of times.
I was just curious, as far as
but not how much higher. I mean, Richfield, those are selling for $290 for a single level living. In Roseville, they're selling for $350. Roseville actually just announced free finished basement. So you get 1,500 finished square feet above grade, another 1,450 or 1,490 below grade. You're actually over 3,000 total. And you get a free finished basement if you buy between now and the end of the spring parade. So the sellers up there.
That's a lot of house.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Those are the Roseville Garden Station?
Yeah, Roseville Garden Station. Those are awesome. But the cost is about $350. So you're still putting some capital into it. Probably if you're not going to be able to sell your home and take all the money and put it in. If your home is in a median sale price home. The other things that we think are going on for 2017, Stephanie, Tom, what do you think of these? Rates have been going up. We talked about that a little bit. The market is not in decline. The market will continue to go up, but at a slow pace. How about this one? Millennials and baby boomers will dominate the market for purchases in real estate. What do you think?
I agree with that.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and it's like what you said in the beginning, the show with the baby boomers, getting out of their homes and wanting to go to that single level living or downsizing. But yeah, millennials.
I'm waiting for the millennial push, the big push from millennials. It's probably happening on a slow level, but there's probably not going to be a massive influx. But it all comes down to the family formation or the household formation. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening.
The jobs. We've talked about that. At least in Minneapolis, the unemployment is going down. Economy is good, so these millennials are feeling better about. Just about everything. Maybe some of them they're waiting longer, so maybe not so much at 25, 26, but maybe 30, 31, and now they've got that.
35, 36.
What's that, 30?
The student loan paid off?
Well, if they graduate from college at 22, 23, you would hope by age 30, 7, 8 years, that debt is paid off, and they're making some good money.
Here's a good one. The Midwest is the new frontier. Never thought I'd see that very often. But due to escalating rents and inflated home prices on the coastal cities, millennials are drawn to Midwestern markets because they have lower cost of living, coupled with tremendous job opportunities and job growth, like Minnesota and Minneapolis. Midwestern cities claimed 42% of millennial purchase market share in 2016. That's higher than the average. So we are. That's why a lot of people come here. A lot of relocation comes here, and the young people come here because they can get their career started in a very good paying job where the job market is very tight. Elliot Eisenberg said this: if you ever want to give your boss the finger, which I know this sounds bad, but if you ever want to give your boss the finger, he said now is the time, because there's never been a better time in recent history to do that, because the job market's so tight and there's not going to be very many people to fill your place, or you'll easily be able to find something else because it's such a tight job
Unless
market.
you're a refinance loan officer.
Well, that's good for millennials because they always want to give them the finger.
Oh, don't say that. Sometimes everybody probably does at some point, right? But don't do that. So I'm talking about my staff, people that work with me. Please don't do that out. Let's
my
talk
team
about
members
it
too.
first.
I love you. Yeah.
Let's work it out.
Well, no, it just it goes back to what we talked about is just that opportunity for jobs and things like that
There's a lot of
in the
opportunity out
Minneapolis
there.
market. And
Consumer confidence is why too. Consumer confidence will boost home sales because consumer confidence is very high. Lack of inventory also will be a problem. Elliot Eisenberg predicted, and he's saying that the home appreciation rate is actually going up a little too quickly than what we'd like. Only reason being there's not enough inventory. if there was more inventory, more homes for sale, if you're out there thinking of selling. But the problem is you end up with the catch-22 if you're a homeowner sometimes. You want to move. Maybe you want that new home. And you would sell your home. But you're not going to sell your home if you don't have a place to move to. There's not a product for you to go into.
Well, hopefully, the seasonality, the milder winter.
Unless you go to Florida, probably, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can have an
Well,
opportunity in Florida.
I think I heard that that the point that they want to be at is at 20,000 homes in the market in the Twin Cities, and that they were up to 40,000 homes, and now they're down to 10,000 homes. Does that sound about?
That's about rough numbers, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
And so, of course, that's a real problem. When there were 40,000 homes on the market, it was a buyer's market, and it's changed.
And now it's changed,
Well,
yeah.
and with the rates going up, that's made people think twice, like maybe it is time to move, where they were maybe a little hesitant in the past, thinking it was going to hold up forever.
So we're not telling you to move, but if you want to move, call us 651-400-0773, 651-400-0773. This is the Stockwell Eldridge Show. I'm Jason Stockwell.
And Stephanie Havel, Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
Stay tuned, folks. Thanks for listening.
Said I